Good afternoon. City Show coronavirus update for the state of New Jersey, the world, the United States, and the various counties. I'm Pat O'Melia, your concerned resident of the fine state of New Jersey. Before we do this, again, I can't keep emphasizing this. It's not the bubonic plague, even though that was a virus also. It's a virus. It's a bad one, far, 10 times worse than the flu. But there are now positive signs that we're starting to win this battle, as they call flattening the curve, especially out of New York City. My temperature today was 97.4. Not bad. I think I'm beating this thing, but I've been observing everything you possibly can. From distancing, I've made my homemade face mask because I'm the only person that can seem to get a mask. Everybody else has them. Social Security recipient, you may start getting your stimulus check starting today, which is pretty good. If you're a direct deposit person, it'll probably start happening next week. Payroll protection program. There's some talk right now that small business loans are being held up in Congress. I didn't read everything. What your bank is saying, you have to have a relationship with your bank. You can't go in a bank cold. Start gathering up your 2019 tax info, your 941s, your 1040s, your W-2 information, your 1099 information, and include the first quarter of 2020 because Sunshine Bear and TD Bank, they're going to have a site where you're going to upload all this to move it along as quickly as possible. This is for the payroll protection plan. But you're going to need a bank relationship, whatever bank you're going to apply for. If you have an account there, you're going to move along. Today is Cancel Rent Day. Yeah, it's something we should have looked at for the last 3 weeks. If you have been watching these updates, I kept saying this, we need something. April the 1st was coming. There's an organized effort on Twitter, tying in every elected official you can. The problem with Cancel Rent Day is we haven't canceled mortgage. And people keep talking about, well, Murphy did a 90-day waiver there, or a freeze. If you have a relationship with your bank, you can discuss some terms. It wasn't automatic, and not all the institutions are involved in this. Because one of the problems is a lot of our banking institutions aren't based in New Jersey. Secondly, there's a lot that goes into a mortgage payment. It's not just the mortgage and the principal. You have your property taxes in there. In a lot of cases, you have your insurance in there. Your flood insurance is in there. You need a lot of people to give that grace period, and that's not happening. If you go back to when Murphy brought up the 90 days, he did say, he threw that in there at the end, a little caveat there. Yeah, it depends on the relationship you have with your bank. And that's the case. If you have a good relationship, maybe you can have that push to the back end without interest. But the problem is you're going to have to pay that. Somewhere along the line, you're going to have to make up those days. Positive signs, numbers are going down in New York City, which is important. Now, the death totals are going up high, but I think that was to be considered because people were in the ICU, they're in critical condition, and they're starting to pass on. Let's look at some of these numbers. Worldwide, you have 1,538,304 cases. Worldwide, there are 87,972 are dead. Recovered, 340,467. That is a plus of 31,109. Right now, mild cases. You may have the coronavirus, and if you're the thought process of my wife, everybody's had the coronavirus. But many of the cases, 96% as of today, are mild worldwide. And of course, at least 4% that are serious. And if you lost a loved one, that's serious. But if you look at the numbers globally, billions of people, population of the world, those numbers, they're low. There are 1,107,864 active cases, of which 96% of them are mild, and 4% are serious, which turns out to be 48,512. In the fine United States of America, We have 435,780 cases. Deaths in the United States with 14,865. Recovered, 22,941. That's up from 12. That's 1,230 up from yesterday. Let's see the United States map, Mike. We're filming here in the Ready to Roll studios today. So we got Mike doing it. You see the big red dot there. That is the hot spot, which is the tri-state area. New York, New Jersey, Long Island. There's some talk about Philadelphia starting to pop up as a hot spot, and you can see Chicago. But if you look across most of the country, you got the smaller dots over in California, and you got, again, a small one up there in Washington. Those were kind of where they first started. Well, New York City is where it really first started, but California, Washington, they were right there, but they handled it differently. They heeded the threat when they heard in January. You know, a lot of people are slow on the go because you're listening to these medical experts, whether it's the governor or the mayors or the president, and they kind of missed it on this one. But we are doing far better than any other country. For that matter, this morning, one of the, consuming all this data, they're talking about deaths worldwide, and they contributed to smoking. I think it was moonshine. From the Star Ledger had this, because right now you can't walk in the park, but you can still buy cigarettes. China and Italy, where they had the largest amount of fatalities, are heavy countries with smokers. So that may have contributed also. When this is all said and done, we're going to study this coronavirus, and we're going to find out what happened here. In the fine state of New Jersey, we have 47,437 cases. 1,003 are dead. 95% of our cases are mild. Let's show the New Jersey map there, Mike. Then we can go back to all those stats over there. Jersey map, and you'll notice where there's a lot of heavy red is the hot spots, which would be my home city of Jersey City and Hudson County, and going into Bergen County. A lot of those people either work in New York City, they go to New York City. In Jersey City, we have 3 path stops. So we got 3 holes in the ground where the coronavirus can come up out of. And it's not just New York City people coming over here. It's where people going over to New York to work, whatever. And you see the lighter red, pretty much from central to north, the northeastern side of New Jersey. And as you get into the western, far less. And as you get south, if you're getting all the way down to Atlantic County, not much going on at all. So that's why we should move some of our resources south up to the north. Hudson County, you can put your stats back up there, Mike. Hudson County, we have 5,437 cases. Ocean County, 2,624. Bergen County, 7,874. Jersey City, my home city, 2,071 cases, 59 deaths. And Mayor Fulop is doing a lot of testing. Right now, 61% of the cases are male, positive corona cases, down within a day of 72%. That's a lot of people dead in Jersey City, 2,071. But most of them had an underlying medical condition. We just lost our councilman here in Jersey City, Michael Yoon. I don't know if he had any underlying, but he passed on from the coronavirus. New York City, really the epicenter. After you get past Wuhan, is it Wuhan, China? 8,204. You have 4,571 people dead in New York City. The state of New York has 151,571 dead with a total of 62, no, it's really shocked you. That's 151,571 cases with 6,269 dead. Let's see the New York State map, because this one really gets interesting, map-wise.
I got that from yesterday.
Hold on, you can take a second here, Mike. Bring up the map, because it really shows you the spread and shows you how much New York City is the epicenter there. Because once you get out of the New York City, Long Island area, it gets pretty coronavirus desolate from there on in. And so it's really the hot spots of New York City. Now here we go. This is a New York State map. Look at that map. look at where the big red dots are, and then the rest of the state. Like I said, when this is all said and done, we're going to figure out how this was transmitted, because it's airborne, touch, distancing and all, and how it got to New York City. A lot of people have ideas on this. The Lunar New Year celebration in Chinatown, Wuhan, that's the name of the city in China. Before they locked it down, millions of people were going back and forth and spreading out across the country. It'll be interesting when we finally study this for a couple of years and figure out what happened here and how to prevent it. COVID-19 testing sites, go to your municipality, your county, or your state website, because I believe there are like 59 or 69 testing sites in the state of New Jersey now. Unless you're showing symptoms, you're not going to get tested. Symptoms, runny nose, a big one, they're going to check your temperature. Runny nose, sore throat, cough, fever, difficulty breathing, loss of appetite, loss of taste and smell. And if you're type A, be extra careful. You look like you're more susceptible to the coronavirus than, say, a type O. Remember, as I said earlier, 96% of these cases are mild. So we want 25% of the people are asymptomatic. They don't even know they have it. Stay healthy. You want to wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Stay at least 6 feet away from people. Wear the gloves. Wear the mask. Try to stay home as much as you can, which is going to be very difficult with the warm weather coming. And Governor Murphy closed the county and state parks. You're really condensing the population into sidewalks and streets. But the main thing is stay healthy. Do the best you can to prevent you from catching the coronavirus. I'm Pat O'Melia. Stay healthy. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night.